We are currently in a TDM meta in Rainbow Six Siege. Within this meta, people are playing extremely aggressive, very fast paced, and are focusing more on getting kills rather than strategizing. So how do you survive within this meta, and how do you actually do good and win more games? Well, don't worry, I have you covered. I'm going to explain what the TDM meta is and how you could do better within it. To start things off, I want to answer the question, what even is the TDM meta? Well, the TDM meta is all about killing the enemy team as fast as possible, as you would in a regular game of TDM. It's all about who has the better gun skill and who could kill the most enemies. This wasn't always the case though, as once upon a time Siege was more about strategizing and working as a team to complete the objective. But now there's been a shift in how people play the game. People aren't setting up the bomb site as much, aren't bringing as much utility, and aren't droning as much. Instead, people are just bringing a good gun with a 1.5 scope on it and are looking to get kills rather than play the objective, which would be to defend or attack the bomb site. Now, some people love this meta and some people hate it, but regardless of where you stand, it's the current meta we're in and there's no changing it anytime soon. So you have to learn how to adapt and how to properly play within this meta, which brings me to my first tip. Don't completely throw all strategic play out the window. You still want to plan things out and try to at least make smart plays rather than just brainlessly walking around the map looking for kills. You'll see that because of this meta, there's a lot of people who just think if they get a pick, then they've successfully done their job and that's all they need to do. Don't be that person. You still want to make smart plays and bring as much value to the team as possible. This means you still want to do things like set up the bomb site, put down your utility, and have a plan while on defense. The same goes for while you're on attack. You want to drone, use your utility, and have a plan. While most people are just currently swinging angles with no information looking for the next kill, you want to be playing smart to have the upper hand when you get into a fight. This means you still want to be gaining information. The more information you have, the better. So make sure to always be using drones and cameras. Also listen for certain audio cues like a lesion mine going off or barbed wire getting broken, because that counts as information as well. Additionally, you want to have good time management. Don't just sit on the bomb site waiting around for the enemies to come. Instead, use your time wisely by wasting the enemy's time. If you do this right, you could waste so much of the attacker's time that it could stop them from gaining map control in a certain area. This is important because if they can't gain certain map control, then they're forced to funnel through one area of the bomb site, which will get them killed because the people that are playing on the site will just gun them down. The only way you're going to waste the enemy's time and deny them of map control though, is by playing off the site on most of the bomb sites. You're going to want to go to an area off site that the attackers like to push from and get control of. Then you'll just play in that area and contest it. To make the area a little bit safer, you're going to want to set it up properly as well. So make sure to reinforce and barricade anything that the attackers would enter from. For example, let's say the bomb site is in basement on bank. A very popular spot attackers like to push from is open area to get control of the hatches. So you'd play within open area to deny as much time as possible so the enemies can't get the hatches open. On the other hand, if you want to have good time management on attack, I suggest getting into the building as quickly as possible. Now, I don't mean literally just rush into the building as soon as you spawn in. You're still going to want to drone first and make sure everything is clear and it's safe to enter before you get into the building. But once you're done droning, get in there and get active. It's important to still drone while you're in the building as well, but make sure you're droning quick and try to make your way into the bomb site as quickly as possible. Once you're in the bomb site, keep your gun up and swing different doorways, corners, and angles ready to gun down the enemy. The goal is to get aggressive once you're in the bomb site because you want to gain control of it as quickly as possible. Furthermore, you want to bring an operator with a good gun that has a 1.5 scope on it. Now, that doesn't mean completely stop using operators that don't have a 1.5 scope. Sometimes you need to bring an operator that doesn't have one, like Cade, Mute, or Smoke. However, let's say your teammates are already bringing wall denial and they already are bringing someone with a shotgun for site setup, then you're good to run an operator with a 1.5 scope. I suggest using either Thorn, Warden, or Mozzie because they have really good guns with a 1.5 scope. As for the attackers, pretty much every attacker has the 1.5 scope available to them, so there's no need to worry there. However, I do suggest using Ayana, Ashe, or Ace if you're looking for operators to play on attack, as they're the top picks right now because they have good guns, 1.5 scopes, and a good gadget. Likewise, you need to know when to get aggressive and when to play passive. You shouldn't be always playing aggressive, swinging everything like a mad person. There's a time when you should actually be playing more passive, like if you're up in man count. You want to play more passive in this situation because the enemies are going to be baiting for kills. So all you'll be doing is giving the enemies free kills if you try to get aggressive on them most of the time. On the other hand, you want to get aggressive when you're down in man count. You do this because if you don't get aggressive, then you're just wasting time, and in the final few seconds, you'll still have a whole bunch of enemies to kill compared to picking them off one by one when getting aggressive. This is important to survive in this meta because everyone thinks they should constantly be playing aggressive 24/7, but that's just not the case, and now you know why. Moreover, you need to understand how to slow a push down on a hyper aggressive team. Some teams like to push the bomb site insanely fast and kill everyone on it. Then they have control of the site within the first minute of the round, making it extremely hard to retake it. So to stop this, you want to play a lot of trap operators to punish the enemy team for not droning and pushing in with no information. With a lot of traps and utility in their way, you could easily slow down the push and possibly get a kill or two from the traps. I would also have a lot of holes set up in the bomb site and have people playing on those holes because it'll put even more pressure on the enemies, which again slows their push down. Finally, the last tip I have to survive within the TDM meta is to stop holding angles on the enemies if they know you're there. The reason being is because if they know you're there, then they'll just swing the angle and kill you. The best way to prevent this from happening is simply by repositioning yourself to a different location. This way the enemy will either have to re-drone you or swing the angle they thought you were in just to find out you're not there and die because of it. So always make sure to reposition yourself to a different location and hold a different angle, or else you'll get punished for it. Keeping the enemies on their toes will keep you alive for longer. In conclusion, there's plenty of things you could do to survive within the TDM meta and not only do better, but win more games. From strategizing and playing smart to knowing when you should reposition yourself, if you follow all of these tips, then I guarantee you'll not only survive the TDM meta, but become a better player as well. Just know this meta won't last forever, so always be ready to adapt and change your playstyle to best fit what the meta requires. While this way of playing may work now, it could completely shift to something different within a few months. So always make sure to work on your core fundamentals like gun skill, game sense, and game mechanics, so no matter what meta we're in, you can still do good. That's it for me though. Do you like the TDM meta? Do you not like the TDM meta? Let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, then please give it a like, and if you want more content like this, then subscribe. Have a great day, everyone.